You're listening to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast, the show that's dedicated to raising consciousness and empowering you to activate your highest potential. I'm your host, Magda Freedom Rod. Greetings, Rainbow Warriors, and happy Freedom Day. That's right, it's the 4th of July in the United States, where everybody is going on and on and on about freedom. Well, I wasn't planning to do an episode for 4th of July, for the Day of Freedom, but I got a spontaneous inspiration to just do a short little episode on this topic and drop in with you about what freedom means to me and invite you to share what freedom means to you. I'm at this really beautiful point in my life where I have raised my daughter, and she's in college in New York City, and she's somewhat independent enough that I have the freedom now to go explore the world, as I've always wanted to do for my whole life, really. And I'm finally at this stage where I have the ability to do that. I have the freedom to do that, and I'm so grateful every day. And, I get a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh, you're so lucky." And somehow that doesn't sit well with me, because it's not really luck. It's a very intentional decision and path, and it involves a lot of courage and risk. And, I just left my home of 20 years, sold my car, gave away all my possessions, and don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow, much less a week from tomorrow or a year from tomorrow. So that requires courage. And the fact that I'm in that position is a decision, and it's not luck. And this kind of freedom maybe is a double-edged sword. Maybe it's a little bittersweet, because on the one hand, that's super exciting. On the other hand, it's a little scary, right? So we all make the choices that we make in our lives, and they lead us down one predetermined path or another. And I believe in manifesting our personal destiny. That is what I consider freedom. So if we look at our lives as if we have, as I said, predetermined paths. So if you look at it like a giant network of rivers, right? So there's one big river, and then there's a bunch of little rivers that come off of that, and there's a bunch of little rivers that come off of that. And your personal will, your personal choice is what takes you down one of those rivers as opposed to another. But they were already all there and already existing. So it's our personal choice that leads us down one of those rivers to meet our destiny. And all those rivers, of course, lead to the ocean. They all lead to the same place, which in my mind is bliss. It's that source energy. It's ananda. It's samadhi. It's that point where we merge into source energy. I see that as the ocean. If you look at all the rivers, or imagine all the rivers leading into the ocean, and that ocean being source, that's leading you back to home, where everybody else already is. All your loved ones that have passed away, all the people that you wish you could meet, the people that you dream of meeting. That's where we all are together, is in that field of source energy. So it doesn't really matter which path you take, because we're all going to the same place eventually anyway. But the quality of your journey is going to matter, is going to depend greatly on the choices that you make. So, I'm in between seasons right now. I wasn't planning to do an episode, as I said, but I just completed this season where I was in France and Thailand and California, and I'd moved around quite a bit on that season. And the next season I have coming up, it was recorded in Lisbon last year at the Digital Nomad Conference, which I'm going back to as a speaker this time at the end of September. And this is a community of people that are traveling, for the most part, full time, and finding the ways, finding those rivers, finding the way to work around the world. And that's what equals freedom to a lot of people, I'm finding. Certainly for me, the ability to travel equals freedom. But if we look at it from a yogic context, Freedom is being free of suffering, being free of the causes of suffering, which essentially is ignorance of our true nature. So ignorance to the fact that we are source energy, that we come from source, we are source, and we go back to source energy. I'm talking about divinity, universe, whatever word you like to use. It's that power that's greater than us, that we all come from and that we all go back to. So ignorance of that truth is the greatest, number one cause of suffering, according to the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which I rely on very much so as a yogi and as a yoga teacher. Another cause of suffering is attachment. So attachment to worldly things. So I'm certainly getting lots of opportunity to practice non-attachment because it seems like every day I lose another belonging as I'm traveling. And, I've only got with me now just a suitcase and a half of belongings. So that's my most favorite important stuff. And when I lose one of those things, it feels like a big hit. And every time I say, wow, okay, Magda, there's your opportunity to practice your yoga, because it's all yoga, guys. It's our opportunity to practice non-attachment. So freedom in the yogic context is freedom from suffering, freedom from ignorance to our true nature, freedom from attachment, freedom from being controlled by our ego, right? Which is also ignorance of our true nature. So I've been going by Magda Freedom Rod since 2010. I adopted Freedom as my middle name the first time I went to Burning Man. And that was a huge leap to the next level of personal freedom for me, because I got to witness a reality that I had no idea existed. And I got to fully express myself in the most authentic way and be totally well received and loved for it, or in spite of it, perhaps in some cases. But that was the beauty of Burning Man for me. It introduced me to another dimension, another level of personal freedom. And I'd say really since that day, my life really started taking a major turn in this direction of personal freedom. And so at this point, my freedom looks like practicing my yoga daily, which doesn't necessarily mean doing the asana practice every day. It might be a bit of meditation. It might be a bit of spiritual study. It might be the asana practice. It takes many different forms. It might be a bit of pranayama. Yoga is such a bigger umbrella than just the asana. But my personal freedom is a result of me following my yogic path, getting to know myself very well, learning my truth, and following my heart courageously. So there's a term in French. I'm in France right now, in Provence, in the south of France, which has been a lifelong dream for me, honestly. I've been called here for many decades, and I'm finally here. And I had made a post on Instagram saying that I was going to take a break from the podcast because I just wanted to go deep into the experience here. But I have the freedom to change that and to put this podcast out anyway, because I'm inspired. I'm inspired to share these ideas with you. So personal freedom is, for me, a result of doing my daily practice, doing my sadhana, doing my yoga, which includes taking really good care of myself on a material level, meaning practicing conscious eating. I just had to buy a new suitcase because I'm carrying so much food with me that I needed another suitcase. And yes, it's going to be another extra big, heavy thing to carry around as I'm moving around the world. And I've made a decision that it's worth it, because I need to be eating the best possible food. I need to be eating organic. I need to be eating superfoods as much as possible. So I'm carrying it all with me, because I might end up in places where I might not find hemp seeds and chia seeds, and certainly not Vitamineral Green, which I'm carrying all of those things with me now. keeping myself nourished as I'm on this freedom path around the world. So these are part of the things that are helping me. These are some of the tools that I use to help me be the best version of myself, to be activated in my highest potential. The yoga, the meditation, the conscious eating, the consciousness, the willingness to explore. That I was going to say that the term in French that I really love is bon courage, and courage, cœur, is the heart. So it's have a strong heart. It's, good job. Like go out there with your heart forward. Bon courage. Go get 'em. Heart forward. I really love that term. And I feel that that's what I'm doing as I'm traveling. And I want to inspire you to get closer to yourself, to get to know yourself better so that you can find and live your personal freedom. So I would love to have you join me at some events that I'm doing. I've got retreats coming up. I'm doing a month in Bali in October. It will be a wellness workation offering for a month in Bali, where I will have a very small number, a very intimate number of people coming to work for the month. You bring your laptop, we'll have Wi-Fi, and bring your creative projects. And we'll be doing yoga and meditation every day. We'll be having self-development workshops. We'll be having creativity workshops, everything designed to support you in connecting deeply with yourself, finding your truth, channeling the creativity that's always trying to come through you, removing the blocks to your creative flow, and really getting you in the flow of your own personal freedom. So that's going to be a really wonderful event, and you can send me an email if you are interested in that. And my email is guide, GUIDE, at visionary-lifestyle.com. So I really want to hear from you. I want to hear what personal freedom means to you. I want to hear what steps you're taking to achieve freedom. I want to know where you feel blocked, where you need help. Please reach out to me. Send me an email. If you're not already on our Facebook group, join my Facebook page and my Facebook group on Facebook, and Visionary Lifestyle and Podcast on Facebook. And from there, you can link to the group and join in the group, and let's have a conversation. Where are you stuck in your own personal freedom? Do you not feel free? Do you feel free? Why do you feel free? I want to hear back from you. I want this to be a dialogue more than just me talking to you. And as always, my intention is to inspire and empower you, to role model for you what's possible in your life, as well as to empower you with the tools to help you achieve that for yourself. So this is just a quickie, little from the heart share between seasons here. As I said, the next season coming up will be all interviews with these digital nomads, people who are traveling the world and finding their passion and turning it into a business and taking that with them around the world. Very inspiring content coming up in the next season. And I hope to empower you to achieve your own personal freedom. Thank you so much for listening and just allowing me to rant about freedom today, because it really has nothing to do with a flag or a particular date or an event in history. For me, freedom is about freedom from bondage, freedom from suffering. And as I go through the world with freedom as my middle name, it constantly gives me a reminder it sets the bar high for me. And that when I recognize myself as not behaving as someone who is free, it's a reminder for me to get back on track, because we all fall off, right? We all get off track, and that's okay. And that's human nature. And that's what we're here for, is to fall down and then keep getting back up, right? You fall down 7 times, get up 8. There's a million analogies we can use for this, but you know what I'm saying here. Earth is life school. We are here to learn how to evolve and how to become realized and to remember our true nature, that we are divine, unique expressions of the Most High, of the divine. So that's your daily reminder. I hope you will join me on the Facebook page. I have been doing videos around the world with just little short practices to help keep you reminded about what's important, and little tools to help keep you in the flow. I hope you're integrating some of those things into your daily practice. I hope you're practicing your yoga daily, whatever form that takes, whether it's asana, whether it's pranayama, whether it's meditation, whether it's spiritual study. Please spend some time every single day focusing on your divinity, connecting, making some small step in the direction of your truth, of the truth of who you are. And that's my rant for today. I will be back with season 6. Yes, season 6 of the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast, all recorded in Lisbon. I will be back with that in a week or two. I'm not making any promises right now because I am role modeling for you freedom. And there's a reason that I did my podcast in seasons, and it's for exactly this reason. If I have successive episodes that are due out every week, I'm very much bound to that production schedule. However, if I do things seasonally, which I've decided to do, I have space. So right now, I've put out the last season. I haven't started producing the next season yet. And I'm in the south of France, where I've been dreaming about being for 30 years for reasons that I don't really understand. And I'm exploring. So I'm on my own personal journey of freedom here and sharing that with you nonetheless. And, I have limited Wi-Fi. I don't know exactly where I'm staying. I have some challenges to getting the show out consistently, for sure. But that's where it is right now. I will be back in a week or two with the next season. So in the meantime, please go back through any episodes you haven't listened to and catch up. There's lots of content there. There's almost or over, I don't even know how many, 70 episodes now. So there's lots of content there. Just scroll through the titles and see what calls you. Trust your intuition and listen to that one. And please share the show as always. And if you are in a position to help support financially, I really appreciate that. You can go to my Patreon page. You can go to my website and donate directly to my PayPal. You can find all of those links on visionary-lifestyle.com/podcast. All those links are right at the top of the page. So I really appreciate your support. I need it. I need more financial support to keep the show going. I do have quite a few expenses associated with this. And so far it's been a labor of love because I am so passionate about sharing all of this with you, all of this yoga, the yogic path. And we're talking about true yoga here. So thank you again for your support and your continued listening and sharing the show with your friends and loved ones. And please write me a review on iTunes. If you've been listening, sometimes I get comments on my Instagram. People say, I'm a faithful listener, but I don't see any reviews. So one of the things that you can do if you're really finding benefit from this show, it really means a lot to me. If you go to iTunes or even my Facebook group and write a review so that other people can see, it gives that social proof that this is worth their time, right? So I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you listening. The fact that you're tuned in and listening to this is a big deal, that you're spending this time to work on your own evolution. So I really give you, a lot of props for that, for showing up and for investing this time in yourself. Good job. Keep going. I love you. And I look forward to putting out the next season very soon. Namaste, my rainbow warriors. Namaste. Thanks so much for answering the call to be here today. I'm so glad you're part of our tribe of activated rainbow warriors. If you found the show in any way empowering or inspiring, I would be so grateful if you would share the show on social media or with friends and family that you think would benefit from these conversations. And also, rate and review the show in iTunes. This is really the very best way to help support the show and help us get noticed by others who are looking for the sort of content that we're sharing. Now notice there are no outside ads playing here. That's because the show is supported by you, the listener. You can become a patron of the show with a small monthly donation by checking out the perks on our Patreon page at patreon.com/visionary lifestyle and signing up there. There's also a one-time donation button on the podcast page of the website if that suits you better. And just so you know, your donations help to cover the necessary out-of-pocket monthly expenses to produce the show, and will also help us grow so we can inspire and educate even more people. And hey, Tribe, I'd love to hear from you. Visit me at visionary-lifestyle.com and please tell me your comments and questions. I really look forward to connecting with you. I love you. Namaste.